report, media reports concerning a couple of things that they happen at the Beer Mountain, and which includes the pollution of water sources and all of that. And so the EPA went there, dispatched a team, but then they all came up to say, well, what the community people were talking about didn't exist at all. So we sought to invite the community resident. I'm sure he's the co-chair for the development committee in King George. He's Mr. Boyka J. Soiree. Mr. Soiree is here, and of also we sought to balance the discussion. We don't want for anybody to think that we are here and we are somehow unbalanced in our broadcast. So we also sought to invite the company, a representative from the company as well. So the community, public relations department was able to send somebody as well, so we can have a balanced and civilized discussion this morning. We have Mr. Henry F. Vincent. Mr. Vincent is the community relations superintendent. I hope I got it right. The B Mountain, welcome.
All right. Thank you very much, Sorbor, and thank you to the LBS family.
Okay. And also we have Mr. Boyka J. Soiree. Mr. Soiree is the co-chair for the Development Committee in King George. Mr. Soiree, welcome to the program.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to extend my appreciation to the ERBC family. Thank you.
Okay, so let's begin with first. Let's begin with Mr. Soiree. We want to hear from the people themselves who are in the operating area of the Beer Mountain. First, to tell us about situation there relative to how is the company treating you people in terms of living up to its corporate social responsibility. But first, before then, what is your own story concerning the report that came up about the pollution of water sources?
Okay, thank you very much. Once more, I'm Baka J. Soiree, co-chair for development, and I want to speak on directly maybe the pollution, the downstream community, more especially affecting G-Cano and other community downstream, like coming down to Command all the way to Wangiko. There was a time the chemical escaped from the TSL from a Beer Mountain processing site and affected the community down that fall within the downstream. And really, people went there, fish died, even a dog, some of the fish died, and people went on the investigation. All of those responsibility in the government or in the country given to people, and quickly EPA moved in. But up to now, the people that most affected around that area, they still requesting for relocation because they are very close to the mine, most especially Jikando. And even up to now, according to the report, but yet the mine still continuing going on. And as the mine go on, the chemical, no matter what happens, they continue to use the chemical, and the people continue to be in there. It will not be safe for them.
Okay, but the EPA went there, we understand, and said that the allegations by the people regarding, complaints by the people regarding water pollution was not the appropriate, situation on ground, was not the picture on ground that they saw there.
Oh, definitely. If EPA can come up with the kind of result, then ready for me, I would say no to it. It is not true. Let me be really bold to you. Even if USA can visit our site and then you look at the mine and we all agree the chemical escape, then they say they don't see the kind of pollution that people talk about, then it is not true. if they talk about, yes, indeed, it happened, but quickly the company trying to cover up on the mistake, then we can agree to that. But if all they say they didn't see the kind of result, then I will say no to it.
Okay, you from the community. Let's hear from Mr. Henry V. Vincent. Mr. Vincent, tell us about situation that you know regarding what he just said.
Oh, yes. In early May of this year, we received information from the community relating to a split out. In that process, we invited EPA because they are squarely responsible in terms of coordinating all of the activities as it relates to pollution. So in that process, we also have our environmental team along with community relations. We visited the scene with EPA. We conducted a meeting and also took water sample. Based on the sample, EPA came up with a first investigation, and after that, they came up with the final in which everyone of informed that indeed the water is now safe, that the people can go about to use the water. So from the company angle, we are being engaged in the community in terms of having a regular engagement meeting with them, providing assorted food items. We have been going well with them, and we accepted the report from EPA. The reason is EPA is the one that is charged with the responsibility in terms of pollution to investigate and then come up with the findings. So from the report, they have made public that indeed the water is now safe.
But you listen to Mr. Sorbor, who represents the community. He said, well, he's not quite pleased with the EPA report.
But we don't have the expertise at B Mountain, so we rely squarely on the government. They have a agency that is responsible. That has
Did you in any way they induce maybe the EPA to have come up with that report? You induce them?
No, that is far from our institution. We are credible in terms of working with the government. We are ensured to meet all of their rules and regulations. So with EPA, there were no foul play in the process. So they have a team of investigators and they did their funding. So we accepted the report. For us, we think the report is credible.
You think the report is credible?
Yes.
Mr. Sorbor, Mr. Sorbor, you agree with that? That the report is credible?
Let me just come up with this seriously. If EPA can come up with this report that the water is now safe for drinking, but even the water itself, the color of ABCA, it is not even something that you agree to even use it. Now I'm not talking about drinking it. And even the hair point in that community, it is now safe for drinking for now. And one thing EPA continue to talk about, let me just come up with some example. Ready, if EPA proceed this way, we have a committee set up. One time, ready, I want to a bit touch the government side.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's say I came up with some report once on expiration 2% budget. Okay, there was a protest and those count was given to a government, and the government immediately led a team to have a meeting and to have a engagement and to arrange that. And that point was a company was ready owing the community 2% budget on expiration from 2010 up to today date. And we went to Lens and Mine. There was a team set up out of the team to go to Lens and Mine to identify the budget, because you can never identify a 2% budget if you can get the expiration budget.
Sure.
And according to the expiration law, that the budget should be turned over to Lens and Mine, and that will be able to identify the 2% budget. I just want to do comparison and example. And we went to Lens and Mine for that 2% budget, that expiration budget, to determine the 2% budget. Lens and Mine get in mind, they told us that they never have any budget on expiration saying B Mountain enter in this country with all of our expiration they carry on. So it's almost like the report EPA given. If an all chemical can escape and get into a water, then you come up with a report saying that, yeah, you know, already saw what people were talking about at least you should be able to tell the people we saw about being a man, and this time around it will not happen, or at least the company will be able to solve this issue. But you can't tell the public that yes, indeed, you didn't see the report that the community gave. And even for now, we continue to tell other people, say EPA can come up with results, but other entity can go there and identify, or even officials can go there and look at the color of the water and even see the distance from the mine.
So as we speak, are the people drinking the water and the citizens drinking the water? Or
No. They can't drink that water. I think you listen to the superintendent. The superintendent said they carry some food item to them, including water. They were even giving them water. But if all the water was not polluted, why must you give them water?
Okay, this is it. That's the question there.
All right. Okay, so like I said, our engagement with the community is moving well. So we continue to provide them with safe drinking water and sorted food items. All right. But on the overall, EP have already verified the community and then come up with their findings. So we work along with the government. So in a much that they can certify that indeed the area is safe, people can now move about to use the water. For B Mountain, we have no doubt or question the credibility of EPA because they are charged with the responsibility. So we accepted the results and we are working with the community to ensure that every situation there is being under control.
Okay, so let's talk about other basic social services, corporate social responsibilities that you promised the people there that you will have. First, let's look at TVET. How much have you done? Then we'll ask the community representatives to either confirm or deny what you are talking about. What have you done in terms of TVET?
In the MDA, talk about secondary and technical school. All right, so over the years, we have been working along with the community to erect that structure. So as I speak to you, we have gone 95% in terms of working along with the government to ensure that we have a full-fledged TVET institution in this year. So we are very hopeful that we're going to start the process as soon as possible. So everything is now set in terms of bringing in equipment to fully run the TVET school. But over the years, there have been a lot of community training in terms of providing on-site training for people who don't have the needed skills because B Mountain is a gold mining company. So we have a lot of equipment there where you don't have trained Liberians. So over the years, we have provided several trainings in terms of building the capacity of both mill and feed mill. So we have.
What kind of training are you talking about?
So in terms of driving trucks, moving some of those yellow equipment, that training has been provided to the community dwellers around our construction.
Is it part of the TVET program?
The TVET program, like I said, we never had a structures there, but that was created in our MDA. So for this year, we're going 95% in terms of completing the building so that we can start full-fledged operation.
How much did you invest in that?
So roughly for the project, if you look at the school there, it's one of the modern structure right now in the western region. So if we sum that, it will be around 300,000 United States dollars.
Now, Mr. Suarez, looking at that structure, what do you think? You think, because I'm sure you live around there, you've seen it, and you follow the contribution of the company to the residents regarding training and education. What have you to say?
Thank you very much. As he said about the TVET, the construction of the building, and we've seen that, but let me just come back and begin somewhere before going to that. According to the agreement, this company operates on 5 agreements in that region. We have the mineral agreement, the MDA, and we have the resettlement action plan, which is a RAP, and we have a community development action plan. We have the land sales agreement, and we have the land lease agreement. That is the 5 agreement the company operating on.
Okay.
All right. Then we go to the MDA first before coming to the community. The MDA talk about the TVET and talk about training and talk about even the managerial position, the most senior managerial position in the MDA talk about it. That yes, indeed, after 5, 6, 7 years, in operation, production, that it should be rotational something.
Okay.
Before that, the reason why I'm saying this, we were talking about the TV, people should be trained. Expert will come and train the people from that time before the mine go up to 7 to 8 years. Then librarian will be qualified for managerial position and most senior managerial position. Okay, and just imagine this mine going up to 8 to 9 years. Today we're talking about building a TV. When the librarian will be qualified to carry on the mine. That's why I brought you back to that phrase before moving ahead. Okay, the TV they talk about, it should have been in place maybe before even the mine.
Okay.
As long as you agree, I'm going to mine because you said you're going to train the people and bring up their livelihood and replacement because they were doing their mining with shovel and digger. Saying you taking them from there is to train them to your equipment and incorporate them into your company. But if at all they are not trained, they will not be able to.
But he said training has been ongoing, according to him.
Definitely, the training that been ongoing is like a cardboard job. You being a cardboard, hang behind the car, and maybe the driver waiting to train you. They're waiting to train you. If they don't want to train you, they will not train you.
Mr. Vincent, do you agree with the analogy?
So most of our people left out in that place because they are not qualified.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk about people are not employed, people are not getting job, people from outside getting the job because those modern trucks they bring in our people don't know those equipment.
They can operate it.
They can operate them. And that's why the TV was ready put into the MDA. It should be established and train the people to it before. That's why a lot of our people they go for tests. And when they come to court, they say we want people to go for tests. You don't train me. And the equipment you bring is a modern equipment. You carry me for tests. For sure, I'm going to pay for that equipment.
So you heard me talk about the lower or the lower edge of the sort of training that you are providing for the people. That he said it's like a carbon training.
Oh yeah. What we want to say here is that the issue of the TVET school, we all agree is supposed to be in full-fledged operation. But be as it may, we have developed several training for our people,
Okay.
which we have been doing over the years. Like you find more female into heavy duty equipment. We established that, and that have been going well. All right. So this is why now we started to work with the government to ensure that that structure is being erected, so that our people can have the needed skills to be able to take over the mine. And these are things that we put into place. So we are very hopeful that very soon you yourself will visit the site and you will see that TVET school will be in full operation. And we are committed to ensure that that structure is being in place and our people can have the needed skills to operate the mine.
But
So
he
it's
said
something-
that should have been long since. No, not now. It should have been long since that you train people before even the TVET school is constructed.
We have series of challenges up the mine over the years. We experience the pitfall, which we all know that B Mountain is the first in terms of gold operation in Liberia. All right. So once there is a huge downpour of rain, it affects our operation.
Okay.
So that challenges we experience over the years. So we're not able to meet all of our obligations. But well, now we have our structure being put into place. This is why we are running with the establishment of that school, so that the young people can be able to have the needed skills to take over the mine.
But Mr. Sorbor, I'm sure you are aware of the challenges that they've been faced with, for which they couldn't meet up with some of the things that they promised.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. You know, what he said, really, I can't deny that fact, but let us look at something. Okay, this mine was established, the production stage came up, they started since 2014, and up to today, we now talking about 2022, 2023, we push into. And from that time, all of the challenges that they face with, but it can never slow down their operation of producing their goal, making their goal to go out. Only the community material, let's say community issue that they're supposed to face always, they are challenging always, slow down the community activity and make sure that yes, indeed, the community left out in some of those activities. Now, we're talking about community taking over managerial position within the 7 or to 8 years. Now, how many librarians you found that they are in managerial position or more senior managerial position? If you want to do that, ready to see the number of it, I will tell you three.
3 librarians
Three librarians,
in managerial positions.
senior managerial position.
You agree
Yes.
with that, Mr. Vincent? Is it a reality?
Thank you, sir, and thank you to Mr. Soiree. We have Liberians that are occupying managerial position at B Mountain operation.
3 librarians.
And we have people in junior level position. All right, so for the number he said 3, that information is not true.
You differ with that?
Yes, what I do know, we have the country general mine manager, which is Mr. Deba Ali. We have a training and manpower manager, Mr. Pressure Dennis. We have our tax compliance manager, also our Liberians. You have the health and safety manager, is a Liberian, also a Kematinian, Shedra family. So you have all the Liberians who into junior level position like superintendents, supervisors. They are also Liberians. So the process is moving gradually. So the team of management we have right now, they are very hopeful that within the coming years, you will find Liberia into managerial position. So that process.
Mr. Sorry, you just heard him name more than 3. Where did you take the information from?
Just 3 he named.
No, just 3? No, he named more than 3.
No, that number is not 3.
3.
He named,
No.
he named close to 5 persons.
From where?
They-
The junior he talking about, they are now up to senior managerial position. Okay, the country manager, the manpower manager, and
health and safety,
health and
the
safety.
tax compliance.
Okay,
These are all top managers' positions.
And they're all Liberians.
Yes, they are Liberian.
okay, we agree 4. 4. And we talk about today, the mine gone up to 8 years. At least Librarians should be taking over the senior managerial position into that company for now. And you're talking about 4. So only 4 senior managerial position you have in that company? That's the question I'm trying to ask. If I talk about 3, then you talk about 4. What is the difference in there? And we're talking about the librarians should take over 70%. And now the experts should be at least 30%
Okay.
in the company. And the expert were, from the beginning of the month up to this time, they were taking over up to 70%, and the librarian was 30%. And by right, the librarian should have been trained to that mine, and today they be taking over up to 70%.
So what is the delay, Mrs. Vincent, to ensuring that what he just explained happens?
Oh no, the process is ongoing as I speak to you. All right, we have Liberians that are into junior managerial position, like superintendent. I myself, I'm community relations superintendent. You have the HR as a superintendent. The trading storage facility is also a superintendent. All right, so gradually we'll be moving to manager position very soon. So it's a process.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a process.
Yeah, so we're hoping that within the coming years, you will find Liberians up to 7, 8 that will be into managerial position.
Okay, now another thing they're supposed to do for you, I understand infrastructure, housing units and all of that. Tell us, are you people who are, residents around there, citizens, are you quite pleased with the contribution they've made in providing housing units for you people?
Okay, thank you very much. Replacing housing, because we was the one off rural from Kinjo, Lajo, was resettled to New Kinjo. And when they went there, we all were part of the team. There was a organization came from South Africa, they call it a DB World. We all carry on the assessment, joined it from 2012-13. The property capture should be resettled to the new site, and that resettlement process should begin like this. You should identify the site and where you're going to resettle them. Make sure the land should be legally processed and resettle them there. But firstly, where we are resettled, up to now, that land are now being finalized. Okay, payment in terms of documentation, because they gave us deed for the place, and they got the land from the landowner, but up to now there's no cornerstone on the land. And even if you're talking about housing, you should build the houses on the land. And the land for it to be acquired properly, then you will be able to build the horses. Then we come to the horses. The horses supposed to be 322 horses, 22 horses supposed to be built there, including the church and the mosque, and the town hall carry up to 325. That the building, but yet I say in giving those horses, there's a losses there. Some people up to now they are not yet ready to got their horses. And when you come to the livelihood of the people that were resettled is ready. They are now ready meeting all with their obligation, most especially on the land or the livelihood of the people. You resettle me. If I all are not living properly, then it's not too good for me. Although they are doing some things that can already to touch their some responsibility, small, but ready to do it up to 50%.
They are yet.
They are not.
Mr. Vincent, you heard him.
Yeah. All right. So the issue of the housing unit he made mention of, we constructed 325 housing units. So as I speak,
Did you acquire the land properly?
That arrangement went on with the landowners.
Okay.
We have all of the documentation. So we have individual deeds. So we're working to ensure that we have that being probated. So the housing unit there have been turned over to the project affected people who he member of. So with reference to livelihood, yes, the company is living up to that in terms of making the people to have a better living.
Okay.
So we provided them with loan and were able to train 5 groups that have been established by BMMC. So up to present, the company had provided up to 65,000 United States dollars for the 5 groups that have been established, and which Mr. Soiré is one. He one of the head of the group.
Okay.
And they are doing very well. Majority of them have generated a huge amount, and that money have been into a revolving process where somebody can collect and then you be able to pay back. That process is ongoing as I speak to you, so we are very hopeful to expand it in the coming years so that a lot of people can be able to benefit from the process. So we provided them with a local kitchen where we have some member of them, they are catering for some sector, like the security, the nurses, the teachers, the office of the town chief, the elders. So on a monthly basis, the company bill, and then we pay them. So that process has been going for pretty close to a year. So there are a lot more that the company has done, and which we are there to expand on more so that we can be able to improve the livelihood aspect of the project affected people.
Mr. Sorbor, you just heard him. He said, well, you in particular, in fact, you are benefiting from some of the things that they are doing. They talked about over 300 housing units that are constructed already.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. That's why I said it is replacement, because what they made in the old time, that's why the bill for the people, okay? And when we come to the livelihood...
They didn't build any new ones?
No. Okay, when we come to the livelihood of the people, yes, indeed, they talk about giving a loan, but that was a part of the resettlement action plan that they should cater to the resettler. In fact, what we agreed to is to build a bank and deposit a amount of up to $1 million that will be there, that people will go and take and they just carry it and do business in order for them to go, and because now everybody will be opportune to work with the company. Okay, because of that and failures to that, the bank will not build because of some reason. So they decided to train 5 groups, 30 each, which amounted to 150 people. We were trained, and from that point, they started to give us some money. But even the money that they're supposed to give us, at least saying the bank will not bill, at least not less than 200,000-300,000 should be given to us by the 5 group to manage. But up to now, they are giving us 60. Even remaining to be given is 100,000. But since that 100,000 says to be given, up to now, they are not giving that 100,000.
They are yet to do so.
Yes. So,
but have you people ask them why they are yet to do what they're supposed to do, what they promised to do?
Yes, several times. The CRO department and that of the community, most especially the resettler, we have a meeting freely and to talk about those issues. Thank God for that. They pay attention to that. We have a meeting like the community kitchen he talked about. Yes, indeed, the kitchen is given. But one thing, the challenges for those things also, at times the people will work, but time to pay them. Sometimes the community kitchen is supported by the community people. For the company to pay, sometimes it will take 2-3 months, 4 months before they pay once. That also is not too good for the people. People, they are now people that have been having company before, they have been managing team before. It's just for them to empower themselves. As they work the month and you pay them, they will be able to balance, at least to move ahead. But it takes some time before they do pay
Before
them.
they pay them.
Yeah.
Vincent, is it the actual story?
Oh yes, we have been having change in administration.
Okay.
So whenever changes occur, the new management, it will take time in terms of reconciling all of the processes and procedure with local vendors. So that process has been in place for over a month, so that the new management team can be able to understand who they are doing business with and what are the process that were put into place by the past administration. All right, so we've been having delay in the process in reconciling all of that documents. So that process has been completed. So payment now is in process. So we are very hopeful that things will be able to move on a smooth path with all of our local vendors from the community.
Now, but on the overall, how do you describe, your relationship with the community?
Our relationship over the years have been faced with series of challenges. Like he mentioned, there have been a lot of protests in Grand Cape Mount within our construction area, which you have been aware of. But with the intervention of the stakeholders, the government, and even our top managers, today our relationship with the community is very cordial.
Okay.
So we have meetings regularly with all of our communities, including the project affected people where Mr. Sorbor is member of. So that meeting go on whenever there is need. We call for emergency meeting, we discuss the issue, we take that to our top managers to see how they can address it. So on the overall, things have been very cordial.
Mr. Sorbor, what do you think has been the relationship of the people with the company?
Well, thank you very much. As he said, from the beginning, it has been bitter and sour. But, everything, when you begin it's sour and bitter, you will get to a point that you will understand. The challenges from the companies are, we look at it, and sometimes we ourselves will get a lot of leftover projects that's supposed to be undertaken, like even the agriculture and other things. But as long as we continue to discuss the issues, negotiate, but sometimes one day it will be better. But at least for now, we're looking at the coordination a bit better, because having meeting and the noise are now cooled down, and we're able to sit and talk to one another, we're able to plan something, at least gradually we're moving ahead. Even the security he talked about, yes, indeed, they begin to give the security partly, they are given some. Even this Friday, we have one meeting on that. Once you're having meeting on some of the issues touching them, if there's a louse, you're putting them together, then the relationship getting better. Yeah, but most of the things they're touching them, they are not finishing them. We're trying to tell them to finish it. But at least the relationship getting
So
better.
you are not planning any sort of protest anymore?
Oh, no. For our point, not anymore.
Okay.
Because I don't want to say this, that we are not planning protests anymore. Maybe tomorrow, then you hear about protest, you say, but why Mr. Sorbor had to say this? But for our end, we pray to God that, yes, indeed, that there will not be any protest for now, because once we understand one another, there will be no protest. But as long as they can understand, or our company, their own language they understand better is protest. Sometimes,
Okay.
So
So
sometimes,
that's the reason why you can resort to protest at times.
so when they don't understand, or we'll come up with a secret dialect that we can speak to one another, at least to come away so they can understand, or quickly then we'll get back to negotiate.
So Vincent, that the language you understand, protest.
No, it is not the issue of protest.
Okay.
So this is why we have reinforced our team, especially for the community relation department, because we are there to mediate between the company and the community.
Okay.
So we bring in a lot of new guys. So the team is well structured. So we are there now to engage the community so that things can be okay. And this is why we always tell them the best thing to do is to dialogue with the company whenever there's issue. So that engagement message is going well with them.
Yeah.
So, and thank God, the issue of protest is something that will not come up. Because whenever they disagree, we're there to quiet them down and understand the issues and see how we can move in quickly.
Well, you've been listening to a balanced discussion right here on the SMS. We have a representative of the community residents where the BMAT is operating, and we also have the community relations superintendent, Mr. Vincent, also who been responding to some of the issues and concerns raised by the community people as well. 0776-540-987, or better still, 0880-514-096. Again, 0880-514-096. That's the number to call, and you are live on the SMS. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm okay, sir.
Okay, this is Abenigo Nathan. I do join from Plymouth County.
Let's hear from you, Abinico.
Thank you for the program this morning, and thank to your two studio guests. I followed them very well. I think they be mounting issues on the radio, because many of the time we are late to state radios, and the correspondent of that country always putting out the information about constraints faced by the citizens of Big Mountain. I think it is quite unfortunate that concessions will be in our countries, and at the end of the day, the citizens will grieve out on issues that are supposed to be settled in a well manner so that they can establish their well-being. But many times, it seems to be serious challenge. See, I think it is believable that the legislators sometimes when to investor count, they need to solidify views and listen to the citizens and put issues into reality so that success can be achieved by the citizens in their interest. But it will be very difficult for them to happen in their interest because the representative or the legislators in totalities, I believe that there are sustained interests within those agreements that puts the citizens into mounting pressure. I think it's very much bad. So I hope and pray that the investors and the legislator of that district or that county need to cement effort together so that the well-being of the citizen can be accessed in a well manner because representation is a leadership, and leadership is a foundation of solution for the concern and condition of the people. Thank you for the time.
Many thanks. We really appreciate your time this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
This is Mr. Winston Pine calling from Pomni County.
Let's hear from you, sir.
I want to say thank you to the two leaders discussing my own questions, but investing and the Suarez. But see, the issue when it comes to the concession, sometimes it may not be the company that have problems, but our governmental agency, more especially when we talk about the EPA. We ourselves, as I say, I'm the chairman of the affected people, in Pomni County when it comes to the manual concession. We have similar issues with manual. Palm oil that they are facing, they are spills of the oil, they are we will call EPA from the payment and we will call EPA when EPA come. They will not come to the community to investigate, they will just go directly to the company. Whatever the company tells them, when they go to Morocco, when they hear over here, there's no problem there, every problem is settled. If the government entity that is responsible to relate to the community and the company will be taking care. But I heard that thing because partly I'm from Cayman. I heard that thing from Cayman. Later on, I hear we sit up there over here that there was no issue, the issue of it. How the issue was addressed when there was space in the water? How was addressed? So when the government entity that is responsible to coordinate activity to lead up, when they go to the want that because they go to enter with the company to what they want to do, when they come back from there, they don't meet the community, then they go over here, they say, well, we handle the issue. If they bring any issue like this, everything will be complex between the community and the company. And let's say so, Mr. George, the company and the community need to coordinate.
Oh, he's off the line. That's 0776-540-987, or better still, 0880-514-096. That's the number to call. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, this is Tito calling for Ria community.
Okay.
Yeah, good morning to your studio guys. I just want to find out something for them. Because the rumor is coming around before you get a job on B Mountain, you have to pass through the youth chairman from King George community. I want to know whether it's true. And also, the companies are coming to the country. It is our own brother then is the problem for we the citizens. Because when you go to the company, when they employ, they make $1,000 US, they don't think about the other people that will make $50 US or $100 US. They will not put the people interest first, they will always see the interest first because they write up on tracker for the company. So what black brother there is the problem for all in the country.
Okay. Many thanks. Let's take this call on the line. Good morning. Good morning. Oh. Yes, good morning.
And I call from Monrovia.
Okay.
I have a concern right there. And I want those three guests to very explain for me. Is it true that only Kipantians are working over there and people from other countries like Nimba, Benchide, Gwenku, and other countries are not working there?
Okay. They'll respond to that. They'll respond to that, I'm sure. 0776 540 987 or better still 0880 514 096. That's the number to call. And you are live. Good morning.
Good morning, Sorbor.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning to your studio guests. And my own brother in studio there, Mr. Sorbor George. My name is Aaron Connor, and I join you from Broadville. Thank you for the discussion this morning. But let me just say this. The issue of King George in Grand Kidman County, our people need to be very, very careful. Because the company, the multi-million dollar company in King George, that is there operating and our people are still complaining at this point. It's very disappointing. Let me speak on one or two issues. One, the issue of contaminated water source. That's one issue that people need to be very careful. I've been in King George. I saw what is happening there. And the government and the EPA that went there, their report that they came away, and people accepted the report. That we need to even look at that very carefully. King George, there are a lot of things people are compromising that will cause damage to that county. Despite the millions of dollars that are coming from there. People will not act, people will not do anything except the people go on the wrong page to demonstrate, like what Mr. Sorbor is saying there in studio. That is the language they used to. And it's not supposed to be that way. Compare King George, that is mining coal in Grand Kidman County, and that of the people in Nimba that mining iron ore. If they can monitor radio, they see what ArcelorMittal is doing in Nimba County and in other two counties. But our people, they are sitting there, and a lot of damages is being caused, by the company in that country, and they are not doing anything about it. But I will shift all this on our government, our central government, because they are the ones responsible to make sure that things go right for our people. But up to present, they are not doing anything, they are not saying anything, and that country is being damaged. I can tell you in a few years from now, I'm sorry to say this, but we experience a lot of things that will happen in Grand Kidman County. How to call it, my own brother sitting into the jetty know how money is going on down there. They are doing underground money. Even that entire King George is sitting, they're just hanging up over there.
Okay, I'm sure you made your point already. 0776 540 987. We'll take two more calls and we'll wrap it up quickly. 0776 540 987. That's the number to call. And you are live right here on the SMS. Let's take this one call and then we'll wrap it up. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, quickly.
Yeah, I'm called Moses Nelson, calling from Hoyama, Nova County.
Let's hear from you.
I want to say thank you for your discussion in the morning, and I just want to warn the brother like in studio defending the company there. No, the late Bronski, this is why you need to do against our citizens for our rights. So you should be very careful because you mind working with the company and defending the company against the citizen there. Then you watch out for tomorrow too. Thank you.
Many things. This last caller. Okay, the caller is not there. So let's hear from first, Mr. Okay, let me take this last caller. This caller is there. Let me see what I can talk to the last caller quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, Sorbor.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm on the radio. Okay.
What I want to say to the people in studio there, thank you for bringing this thing out. I'm from Cape Town. My name is Hawa Samola. I'm from Cape Town. You know, the man that just spoke just a little while ago, everything he said everything he's saying over there, the Cape Martinians, we have to be very careful. We have to be very, 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 very careful. You don't sit in that studio and start defending the company, and you know tomorrow there will be no way for for you to even get sick and even get treatment. You hear? He cannot sit in the studio there and start backing the company today because he's working with the company and making money. And when EPA went and then they did their findings and then they did their report, did they have any citizen engaged or citizen meeting to tell the people what went on and what has passed? They didn't do it. That's what they should have done. But they didn't do it. You hear? They know already that something went wrong in that water. If nothing went wrong in the water, the fish would not have died. You hear? The dog will not eat a fish and then die. And I even heard that somebody even died in that process. What is that? Look at the amount of tons of gold that is coming from that county. What is the company doing for that?
Okay. Sorry, we can continue. I'm sure we've already, time has cut off us, so let's hear from Mr. Soiree and then Mr. Vincent. Quickly, we'll close up. Mr. Soiree?
Yeah.
Yes, do you have any response to?
Okay. Thank you very much, and I will also appreciate those that just contributed from our side. If we really look at the company operating on agreement, and those agreements, at least the compliant agencies should be there to make sure that this company abide by those agreements. And those government agency and ministry responsible for those areas, I think there should be people that will be calling on them, like EPA that they talk about. They came up with their result, and that is the result the company working with. So if those are talk about our government and agency, we should really be looking at them in this country that they now already protecting or representing our world. They had to really pay attention. The National Bureau of Concession, they're responsible for most of those things. At least make sure that yes, indeed, while the company agreed to do this, and all of those agreements, they're supposed to make sure enforce the company to at least so they can comply to those things.
Okay.
And also, what I will say, really, what we're trying to talk about, the leftover responsibility for the company. Maybe if the company have a panel helping them, if they listen to those things, they will be able to know that yes, indeed, our panel is in progress, still have a leftover project for the community. It shouldn't go against somebody maybe that work for the company, or maybe that's your responsibility to talk about the good name of the company. And you see people talking about it. No, it helps also that yes, indeed, the company, the managerial people in direction, they will be able to help. And somebody asked a question that whether only Cape Martinian can work for the beer mountain in Cape Mount. Firstly, I would say no. Even the country manager for beer mountain is a Brazilian, Mr. Deba Allen. He's now from Cape Mount. Okay, most of the people in managerial position, they are now from Cape Mount. And most of the operators, they are now from Cape Mount. I told you from the beginning, the Cape Mountainian were not ready or qualified to this mine equipment. So most of the people that are working over there, they're from OSA. And that's why we continue to cry on the company. We continue to tell the company to train our people to their equipment. So if you ask the question, whether only Cape Mountain.
Thank you to all of the callers. Regarding EPA, after the publication of the findings, there were town hall meeting that were conducted in G-Kano with the citizen, along with representatives from the company, and then EPA were able to explain to the affected community in terms of the findings. All right, so we'll continue to tell our people, we'll continue to remain engaged with all of the affected communities, the three downstream community, and our engagement strategy will continue to improve on it to see how we can better the life of our people. All right. B Mountain, we all agree that we work with the company, yes, but what is being good, we come and tell our people. The Basa will also inform our people. So it is not that we work for the company and we just see all of the good things. There are still projects that is being pending, the issue of the roads. There are a lot of roads there that is pending because of the rainy season. So we are very hopeful that in the dry, we'll be able to complete all of the road projects. And there are other projects there that is ongoing right now. We are very hopeful to complete that. And our engagement with all of the community that we work with is very cordial. And we are working to improve on that so that our people can understand where B Mountain want to go.
Okay,
and how we're
many
going to
thanks.
work with the people.
Many thanks, Mr. Henry V. Vincent. Mr. Vincent is the Community Relations Superintendent at the Bay Mountain, and also here Mr. Boaka J. Soiree. Mr. Soiree is the co-chair for the Development Committee in King George. We sought to hold this balanced discussion, bringing the community members' representation as that of the company. Last week, we held discussion with the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and we heard their version of what is happening there in Cape Mount, and then also we sought to bring the company and the community people as well on this program. Well, let me thank all of you for taking time off a busy schedule to appear.
All right, thank you very much, Sorbor. We are available at all times to come and speak to the press to provide information as it relates to B Mountain operation in Grand Cape and other counties. Thank you so much.
Okay, so the next discussion that is coming up, it would be with Mr. Arvind C. Wiese. Mr. Wiese is a spokesperson of the Revolutionary National Youth League. He's not a fireburn, no politician. You'll be right on the program.